because we didn't want the, hot dogs and recordings. That's crazy. All right, let's get your snowman opened up. We're gonna fix this guy's face because it's kind of weird. Okay. So let's get him opened up. What's going on here? You don't have the snowman? Well, how do you not have a snowman? Did you not save it or not been here?
Last time I was here. Well, no, I was here, but last time there wasn't on.
Okay, let me find my drive here and I'll get you a copy of it. It was noisy. I really don't like what these ports are. You like that hot dog video?
That one was fascinating.
By the way, again, just in case you didn't hear, pigs do not sweat. That is why they wallow in mud.
I guess that makes sense.
Yeah. Oh, man. Sorry, it's just take me just a minute to save a soul here. You know how to use a USB drive? You can. Do you guys know how to help him? Cool. All right. It's called Snowman. Just copy it onto your file. All righty. So we've got a problem here. Why does I shut the door? Because I don't want that cart to come back in 2 minutes. All righty. Here we go. Jeff, will you take care of your neighbor to the right? Kind of give him some education. Okay. So what we did last time, to kind of recap, was we drew a bunch of circles and we extruded them up to the sphere of the head. And he looks good this way, and that way he looks like a reject from Disney. Careful. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to shave off the extrusions, and so we can round them off and make them into rocky-like pieces. We're not looking for perfection, so don't get all hung up on it. We're trying to get this thing done because we need to move today onto the birdhouse, because we're down to 2 weeks for this quarter left. So, woohoo! Now, what we're going to do is we have plane 2 that we created, which was based off of the front plane, which is great. You can leave it on. Thank you. You can hide it if it's in your road. Occasionally, I will get to the point where I have so many planes on that it gets confusing. So, for example, if I was to do a yacht, and we're doing the bow of a yacht, there's ribbing that goes in there, and you have a plane for each rib in order to get that to work out right. And so that gets to be a little convoluted. Now, I may give you that are going to be taking Mechanical 3, the 3rd class, next fall. I know you'll be taking the fall, but I would like you to somehow figure out a way to be here in the spring as well. We are going to participate in the SUU Cardboard Boat Derby next year, because we'll be done with the COVID thing, and we're going to have a lot of fun. So part of that will be designing a cardboard boat in SolidWorks and figuring out how to build a sucker. It's really kind of nice because there's actually room in the shop that we can actually build some boats. So I'm kind of looking forward to that. All right, so to get started on this, will you bring your right plane and make that one so you can see it? So click on the right plane, then hit the eyeball. It's going to go right down, right through where the nose would be, if you followed suit. Now, if you've kind of done your own thing, you want the plane that goes down between the eyes for your view. And we're going to go now, change our view to the right side. And there we go. Now, this is where you might find you get a little bit busy, because this is that plane number 2 that we use to create the eyes and the mouth. And the right plane is where we want to work. So keep track of where you're at. That's kind of a big part of 3D is not getting lost, which is one of the things. Now, obviously, those videos we showed you before class, we have a long way to go before we get really good food. But if you're a guy, you put anything in your mouth that looks like food, so we're okay there. But women are a little more picky. We have a long way to go before food's really good. If chocolates are pretty much that, I'll show you a bit of chocolate next week. Chocolate's much more forgiving because it's hard to screw up chocolate. It really is. And so you get a better product out. To buy a chocolate 3D printer, you're looking at about $4,000. What's that?
Worth it.
It's worth it?
Honestly,
I think so, yeah. So we'll see what we can do with that. Now, we're on this plane. I'd like to start a sketch, activate the sketch, and make sure you select the right plane, which is also the correct plane to select if you want to play with words. Because, you know, it's Thursday, which is the god of thunder's day. Thor's day. Yeah, Thursday is named after Thor.
Oh, that makes sense.
It's Thor's day. Oh my gosh, this guy's so freaking late.
Thursday.
Thor's day, yep. It is worth every bit about being Thor's day. Okay, so what we're going to do here is we need to somehow remove the excess eye and mouthage without cutting the hat, without cutting the head. Okay, so a little bit of making a plan of what we want to happen geometrically before we move in there. So I've got a sphere thing going on here, but we really don't know the center of the sphere. One, it's been merged into this other sphere. And so we have to make somewhat of an educated guess, right? Well, here's what we're doing. We're in the sketch mode. We're gonna go ahead with a circle. Do you guys see an axis on yours? No, okay, so let's talk about axis lines. Axis lines are kind of important, so I'm gonna cancel out my command here in a minute. There's an eyeball at the top of your screen, for your drawing editor screen. If you hit the down arrow, it probably looks like this. We have your planes shown, your built axis, and then there's this one here, which is a temporary axis. If you turn on the temporary axis, anything that's round will automatically be given an axis. It's kind of a little more, I use it more than the actual axis because the actual axis you have to create. I don't want to create things. I just want to play and make things. So I use the temporary axis a lot. And when you turn that one on, it'll show a blue axis line going down to the center of the snowman. So that'll be really helpful for what we're using. Okay, did everybody get that? Find that okay? If everybody's lost, speak now or die a slow and miserable death by fire ant. I got no result. It means there's 4 people asleep. Okay, well, here we go. Back to that circle tool. So I'm going to come up on the head, get kind of close. I want to be on that axis. There's not a center point for you to pick from because the way we made the head, we did 3 bumps and spun it around. If we'd done true circles, we'd have a center point. But I didn't want you to do it that way, unless you did it that way.
No, I was just going to say, could we do the 3-point circle and just like the edges?
The perimeter circle, we actually don't want to match the head. If I was matching the head, then yes.
Okay.
But I want to be, well, we could do an offset. So let's do that. Let's go one level up because, you know, it's Thor's day. So Thor's gained some weight. We might as well do extra. Right? Keep my brain is over because I've been watching all the Marvel movies getting to figure out what the freak's going on with WandaVision. So, tomorrow's the final. Okay, so 3-point circle. Now, when you use the 3-point circle, you are literally needing to find things to select. So there's 1, there's 2, there's 3. That will match the sphere exactly. Okay, just 3 points on the head. Okay. It's kind of a freaky tool. Don't wig out, just chill. May need help with that. Okay, the fire ants have all gone to bed. We don't have to worry about being dying by fire ants. You can ask. You good? There's a question. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to render some assistance because it's what my rendering computer today. Okay, so yeah, just kind of, you have to kind of move around a little bit. Okay, yeah, so fun days in that old town tonight. Hey, Mike, you want to? Yep. There. Yeah, it's a finicky little weird command, especially if you're picking a circle with a circle, because circles by their geometry, they don't have a start and end point. They're kind of infinite, and mathematically it's a tricky thing to program. So fortunately it worked. The 3-point circle is really helpful with gears, like super. That's why it's here, is for gears. Now we can see that it's I kind of missed a little bit, but I'm close enough. I don't care. We need to do an offset. So if you do opcode and switch on offset entities, that would be helpful. And we don't need to come out super far, but we can click on the circle we just made and get an idea of how far out that's coming. Yeah, then probably 0.1 is gonna be enough. Should be plenty. We're trying to just get the thing done. So do a 0.1 offset of that circle going out. Check that off. Now you got 2 circles. Woohoo. Very good. Okay, delete the first circle. Just take it out. One, if we don't want it to be included in what we're about to do, because, well, it's going to be confusing enough what's going to happen anyway. So has anybody used a lathe before? Okay, kind of fun, right? Yeah, we're going to lathe this head is what we're going to do with the circle. Now, when we do a revolve cut, you have to think about creating the blade you're cutting with, like on turning a wood lathe, like splitting wood and chiseling it out, is kind of the best process to think about it. So I'm just going to take a line. I'm going to start above the eye, and I'm not going to, you can pick right on the circle if you want, but just come out, drop down, and then come back over. Just kind of create that kind of little shape. So basically it's going to be a wood chisel, if you will, when we're done with it. So make sure your vertical line here is out in front of all the nose or all the eyes and mouth, but do not come into the space of the sphere. Okay? The rest of it doesn't really matter. It's just a shape. When you get those 3 lines drawn, we then go and switch to the trim entities, and we're just going to do trim to closest, and we're going to remove the majority of the circle. So now we do have a little chisel blade. Okay. Yes. You draw them with a line. So you go and bias mode. Where's your buddy? Yeah, because I'm here. Because that's what gods do. When you show up, things work. Hello, Musro. So we take the line tool, and we pick there, we draw, right down there, because it's going to tangent. So the way to get around that is when you draw your line, It can't be, it doesn't have to be. All we get is this guy right here. This is the first. So this string here, here. What? Oh, guys are still like stuck behind. Oh my goodness. All right. Let's take this extrude out where you're going here. So you got the extrude, and you just going blind, and we missed the part going up to the surface. So we go like that. Okay, that's part of this. Okay. Well, you actually did sketch. So which one did you do? What?
Draw a line.
You gotta create the plane. You're right. What about the right plane? Where's your sketch? Yeah, plane's not a sketch.
Whoa.
Edit this sketch. Go to your features, screw across base, and you go up to surface. You have to see the speed. And I need to bring the right plane on. Okay. So now you ensure the right plane on. That's what you're gonna sketch on now. So sketch, I'm gonna sketch, plane, square your circle to the world. This is what we do in our circle. We did 3 point. You think where that is here, right over here. So now get that circle in there. Right plane, sir. Right plane. Turn right here. Sketch on the right plane. Okay. You need to make this circle in the offset. 0.1 off of that. Okay. You gotta turn the corner off. Come on. Okay. Take out the first circle and make your box. I get you now. These kind of hard. Yes. You're going offset. So that after your sketch, so your right plane, go to your circle tool, and then pick that edge, so there's a circle. Pick an edge, another edge, third edge, there's a circle. Offset, 0.1 works. Get out. Now you got a nose and that's just okay, so now we're gonna swing this back around so we can just track the border. Okay, now the first circle we get rid of. We're gonna go line, we're gonna draw out, down, and back to the circle. And then trim, to the closest, slip that away, slip that away. You got it? Okay. You're okay.
I don't.
No, it's just a bunch of lines on the wall. It's just so pretty. Oh, no, Mina. Okay, so you got your circle. Kudos, then go to the line. And then draw a line out. Let's get a tangent thing going. So to avoid that, we're going to do the opposite. Offset the circle, 1, and we delete the first circle, not sphere, because it's something confusing. We do a line, and we can just draw a box out here somewhere. We're going to trim the circle away, trim these little lines away. Okay. All right. Anybody else? Okay, I'm going back to my desk. I've got 12 steps. Never mind. I've got 14 steps. Trim. Trim the twin piece. Trim the closest. Look at that. Good. Now, you might have a little problem with the hat if you try to type that hat. They might pull that one down. All right, folks, are you good? Okay, let's check that. Are you bad? Oh, I'm trying this. Oh, you guys and your phone. All right, here we go. Quick and easy. Welcome back to the world of chaos. Chaos walking. Here we go. Go ahead and close off your trim command if you haven't already. And we're then going to the features tab. You then select Revolve Cut. Revolve Cut. First thing it wants to know is, what's your axis of revolution? Did I lose you already, almighty one? No? Okay. Remember that temporary axis we turned on? That's your axis of revolution. So we select that axis, and it puts a band around him. It's like something out of a sci-fi movie. Now, this is why we have to be careful about thinking about the geometry. Once you do that, let's say go 360. You don't have to go 360. Since we're doing Revolve Cut, let's explore the 3D Cut Revolve tool because it's kind of cool. You can say, hey, just go 90. And then you then get, one eye gone. Okay, that's kind of cool. You might find that some things you want to go mid-plane. And mid-plane lets you choose the bandwidth of how far you go each way. So that just makes it a little more efficient because you don't necessarily always want to go all the way around something. Maybe you just want to take a chunk out of it, put a wedge in there. So this is the mid-plane. It goes this number of degrees both sides. If you look at offset from surface is similar to what we've done before. We don't have it set up to do that, but there's that option for the offset and the up to surface. Okay, we'll go ahead and check that off. Boom. Look, his face is so much better. He just had rhinoplasty. That's a nose job, by the way. But oh wait, he doesn't have a nose. Oh. Jeff, you got a headache? You got a headache? Okay. You okay, man?
Yeah.
What's Mark watching today?
Mighty Ducks 2. I wasn't watching Beauty and the Beast, but it's not.
Sure glad you got Disney Plus there, man.
Oh, I wasn't watching Princess and the Frog.
You do know there's boy shows on that channel too, right?
No, no. Princess and the Frog was like, my girlfriend. No, there's my girlfriend's.
Star Wars, Marvel.
No, it's my girlfriend's one.
So I just did two plain, we can do the message that we want to work.
I wasn't watching Avengers. I was like, look, Mighty Ducks. Mighty Ducks 2. Well,
Yeah. Let's say you want to go up on it, just get on that. Now what's happening is this line didn't come out far enough to catch. You didn't catch these lines too well. So you can go back into the new. See where that little sliver got left in. So you have to see that is. So fix this here, fix that. Here's go back into the sketch. And the sketch. And use this line bigger for that. So you can just put that line apart. Hey, you guys got a cut. Hey, you're there. Oh, cool. I am really quite surprised actually. But that's a good thing. I like to be surprised on Thursdays. What's up, Buttercup? So what? Zero fitness geometry. Oh, you well.
bus.
Uh-huh.
Bus. I think Rose had this conversation with my friend today.
Shave so close. It's a couple little problems. It's okay, we'll solve them. Looks going good. What's this guy over here? Okay, so why is it easy? It's extrude to the part, and that's fine. You got two axes on here. Oh, okay. I think you got two axis lines in here that aren't centered. And we'll try and get one that goes the whole thing here. Do that. This one's the only one. It's not simply. So you have two axis lines. There you go. Yeah. Hello, Moto. You got zero thickness line. Oh, just hit okay. This is, you want to trim the whole body? Everybody's got to have a body. Yep, that's it. You got it. Okay. Yep, yep. Okay, let's get ourselves square below. So if you look, there's a couple of different axes in it. So I've got these extra lines in. It won't do anything until we get back.
Oh, okay.
So we're back in your sketch. I'm gonna do some trim work here. And get these extra. There we go. That's it, that one. Let's take that one too. And then we can go. Hangnails, it just doesn't like. Now we're in the blue mode. We can get the axis. And it's not spinning. So I'm gonna do this. Just let this contour get through. There you go.
Thank you.
Okay, everybody's got a face now? No, we've all come masks. We're all faces. You know, the Twilight Zone's gonna have a heyday in 10 years with this life. Yes. What's up? Okay, so you got some little hangnails that hung out there. So if we go back to your sketch, what's happened, see how that just didn't quite go out far enough? So you just take this and pull it out a little further. And then check that off and exit. Everything's done. Okay? Yep. Kind of slightly cut his throat too a little bit. That's okay. He just marked, right? Just a warning. Okay. Now, welcome back. I know these videos are probably pretty boring. I'm going to walk away the desk for 20 minutes at a time. All right. Now, the planes are in my road for right now. I want to hide them because what I'm going to do, I don't want to pick a plane by mistake. So you can right click on the plane and hit the eyeball, or you can go to the side, find the plane, right click and hit the eyeball. It's whichever way makes you happy. Just find the plane, right click on it, hit the eyeball. And I'm going to go to the front view, maybe because that's where my face is. Oh, I left a little snaggle tooth there. Oops. So some of you haven't looked at that little piece of snag there. That's so unprofessional. Here's the fix. You go back in, you then edit the sketch that made it. You just have to take this vertical line, and for some of you have already fixed this a few times. That would be to extend it out just a little bit further. Just grab that line and pull to make sure everything's inside the void. And if you look, there's my little snag right there. So I then, after I get the pull out the line and I find what the real problem is. I check that off, exit the sketch, still snaggled. Now I'm going to go into the revolve and edit that. And I just need to increase the angle because I got a tooth that's off to the side. Okay, there's my face. So editing, you know, you guys, you can mess up because you can fix everything. It's like the only best thing about this job is there's no mistakes because you can fix them before you find them as a mistake. Okay, now these eyes are pretty flat now. They're not really flat, they're actually rounded. So, but I want to make them look more like I stuck a rock in there, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you into an advanced feature that we're going to do. It's called, well, actually, we don't even need to do that. We're just going to do a fillet on them. That'll be even faster because we're going to do the fun stuff. So just go ahead and click on your fillet. I'm going to leave it at 0.1 for right now, and I'm going to start with one of my teeth, one little smaller. So just pick the surface of it. You can pick an edge, that's fine, and it will round it off. And then go through and start picking edges. Now, if they're all the same, it's going to be pretty straightforward. If you get to one, let me do this. I'm going to call these guys good. Look like little buttons, okay? If I go in the fillet, and I'm going to make an error here so you guys can see what happens if it's an error. If I try and do this with the same process, I get no preview. If there's no preview, it won't work. And that means that the radius is too large. So I'm going to move to the, how am I going to do this? Let's see. Oh, there's just not enough tools in Zoom to do everything I want to do. But we'll figure it out. Thought there was supposed to be a whiteboard in this. Is there a whiteboard? Okay, so I'm going to just draw here on the side for just a minute because I've got to explain this to those that don't have internet today. So if I've got a line or a corner or an edge, and I'm doing a fillet on it, and let's say my radius is going to be a 0.3. That means this distance across the top must be 0.3 or greater. This distance here must also be 0.3 or greater. Okay, if that space that's on the surface is less, it doesn't have enough to make the radius. Because if I'm finding where the radius goes, that means there's a center point and the radius comes up this way and out this way. And both of those need to be 0.3 in this example. So if you don't have enough space of material, it can't create that fillet. So watch for that. It's not really a bad deal. You just have to be aware of it. And if you come back and change your radius size, then you'll get the preview and say, oh, happy day, I can keep going. But don't be too anxious to say, oh, it doesn't work. Try changing a setting. Yes, sir. Are they all exactly the same size?
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, if they're not all exactly the same size, you have to do them one at a time.
Okay.
Okay. I'm gonna go. Wow, same hands. Cool. Oh, a new hand. Yay! Yay! I like new hands. All right, what you trying to do here? All right, yours will be overly complicated because they're all connected. So you will have to probably, let's clear out and just pick one of them at a time and so this sticks in here. So make sure you do an edge. If you do the edges, now that edge is a different size. So we're gonna take right here, just take that one out. If that one's good, check that one off. Okay, so that one's done. Then go back in again. Go to the next edge. There's no preview, change the radius. You can go smaller. Might go 5 or 6. If that doesn't work, go 2. Oh, this is not liking it at all, is it? Okay, so let's try this search then. You may not be able to get them all because the way they're merged together. So 0.01, that's pretty dang small. So now you can go like 0.06. That will work there. So once I do that one, remember the middle one didn't work. So now I come back and try it again because I pulled these corners down. If that doesn't work, that's fine. Okay, because it's not we're not doing exact drawing, we're just doing skills. So just do the ones you can. Okay? All right. Uh-huh. Yeah, this shows some edges on them. It's a little weird. Couldn't get one to do, huh? Wow. Well, that's a huge number there, man. Take the edge. Then come in and say, well, if 0.3 isn't going to work, 0.05. Zoom in. So just do them one at a time to find a radius that works. If you get some that you can't get a radius because you have like 0.0001, that's fine. Just don't do it. You just do the ones you can. And you're better off if you do, so it's 0.1. So we got to change this radius. 0.05 is half of that. That works. That's what it is. Just trial and error. Okay, I'm going to do just zigzag. I'll zigzag. What you tried? You gotta go back to your sketch. See why it's there. And notice that you grab this guy, pull it out. Okay. Back here. Yeah. They're kind of close together, right? Okay. So what you then do here is you do your fillet. And again, it's not doesn't have exactly. Just try and learn. So click an edge. That's 0.39, right? Try 0.1. Just change the radius. Okay? And do each individual. Trial and error. That's what I'm trying to get you to do. Trial and error. Because if you try, then you get rid of the error. Don't do them all once. Do one at a time. Check it off, and then do the next one. Because the next circle's a different size. Okay? Let's see. Let's close that. And there's no preview on it. Because these guys join together. That's all one thing. So we got to cancel that. Just a minute. So these are way in. That's you're not even on the thing. That's kind of weird.
Right there.
Let's go back here. So we go. All right, so this didn't quite work. You got an offset. Oh, you got an offset one. So you hit it and it bounced back. So what we're gonna do is up to surface. So
It can be the eyes, it can be the mouth.
there you go. Now you got something to work with.
Now,
Okay, but these are still connected, so you don't have to go in your fillet.
make sure that
Take the edge.
radius is.
You want it to try to see that one. Hold on.
Okay.
Now it absorb the other.
And then click on.
Okay, so that's just probably what's happening. There's a stable. Okay. If you don't like that, you see that you don't like that. We can fill it. Come back in. We'll try to get it. Fill it. Start with this edge. And then we'll do this edge with it. And we'll put this one in. That's too large. So it's going to be smaller. That's too large. We'll try it one more time. Okay, so you just because of these connected, it's just a little. You just have to choose which one. You can take out edges. Yeah, it is. Okay, so maybe those three you don't do. Just do these over here. Okay. Yeah, just leave those. And it's okay. They don't have. We're not going to print this thing off. No way. Some of you guys have snowmen that are 4 feet tall. Yes, sir.
So I'm struggling with something that I should not be struggling with.
Oh no, what's that?
So, so my brain gave me a wonderful idea.
Uh-huh.
And so I'm trying to make it work. But what I need to do, see, look at this. So I don't want to align on my fingers at 20 degrees. So I put a little notch here on each one.
Okay.
And what I should be able to do is just make a copy and just up the size and it'll all work. But I can't figure out how to make like take this one, but keep that in the old one.
Okay,
You know,
yeah, so I see what you're trying to do. I'm gonna just do a new file real quick here. Okay, so you got your axle that goes through, they're spinning around, but then you've got, you want to shift their pivot point, right? So the axle is what's moving on these, on each one. So your axle was you doing a 1/4 inch mover?
Yeah, oh, well, so that's not my problem. I figured that out. I just can't figure out how to save it with the new one.
Okay. So what I do is, so we'll just start here. We'll give it a quick size. Let's say it's a 1/4 inch. Now the next thing we'll do is to take a center line from here and then go up. Okay. And that's going to be where the center of the next circle goes. So this is the value that's going to be changing. So if you're going to do from the center, you're going to do, let's say you're going to do a 1 inch. So this will be 0.5. So it's a 1 inch cam. Then this circle is going to go from here just right to that edge. Right? And then you can extrude that. And whatever it is. Then you do a save as. And then you go and you edit that center line and change the heights. Does that help you think about what you're doing? That's not
So
these
you
next.
should save that.
Save as. So you'd save this first as cam 1, then save as cam 2, save as cam 3, save as cam 4.
It wasn't working for me earlier.
Let's do, so let's say, make sure it says the name here. Then you go to here, file, save as. Come down here, backspace once, put the 2 in, enter. Now it's got a 2. Yep. That's okay. That's kind of my job. It's the best part of my job. Otherwise, if you guys never feel stupid, why do you need teachers? It's like my job security. Hey, still feel stupid. No, it happens. I mean, you're going through some really good thinking on that. It's just the thing about engineering is knowing when to stop thinking. And that's the hard part. Because as you get going on a project, you have all these ideas and they just keep flowing, which in reality, your generation is probably the hardest part. Is you guys are not used to taking notes. Everything's digital for you. So I'm gonna go off on a tangent here for just a minute. I've got to get my breath because these masks. You know, as soon as I got my vaccinations, I've gone, okay, I don't need the mask anymore. And I'm having the hardest time with the thing now. Anyway, okay, so this great universe that we live in is meant for your success. That's the whole purpose of it. It does center around you. The silly thing about it is it centers around each of you individually, which means we have intersecting Venn diagrams. You'll learn about those in grad school, okay? The universe is going to send out ways to improve itself, and you're the ones that are going to make the improvement. So you get these moments of inspiration. Well, if Wyatt gets a moment of inspiration, then at the same time, Elias is going to get a moment of inspiration. The one who gets the reward is the one that acts on that inspiration, because ideas go to multiple people. It wasn't just one guy that said, I'm going to make a wheel. There was a plethora of people who had the idea, but only a few acted on it. They survived, the others died. Because the ones that didn't have the wheel couldn't move their family. And then the Ice Age came and swallowed them up and they froze to death. I don't know, probably not, but it's a good story, okay? So when you get inspiration, the only way you're gonna be able to sort through all the stuff that's going in your mind, because ideas happen super fast. You gotta either write down the idea, make a picture of the idea, because those short-term quick inspirations are in short-term memory mode and you lose them. And so yes, engineering is all about focusing on the task, but then knowing that sometimes those tangents are other things that are even better, and you can't add them to what you're doing now, but you want to keep this idea, because if you write it down, you'll be able to rebuild that idea. So it's really about knowing how you think, and that's tough. That takes people a long time to learn. Those that do well at it, Elon Musk is one of those. The guy's an amazing idea guy. Not sure he's a great businessman, but he's an amazing idea guy. And because he's such a good idea guy, he doesn't mind blowing $3 billion in a weekend, which he did last week. It didn't bother him at all because he just has another idea and he'll make a flamethrower that's not really a flamethrower, but people buy it and it doesn't do anything. Who wants, I mean, everyone wants a personal flamethrower, right? Sure. What do you then do with it? What do you do with a flamethrower? Well, I burned ditches with it when I was growing up. I had a flamethrower growing up. It was to get rid of the weeds. Other than that, you had to pull them. It's a lot more fun to torch them. Alive or dead? Where are you working? Oh, you slaughter your own pig? Very important to take if you're gonna make crackling or chitlins, you need to take her hair off the pig before you deep fry it. Real. Yeah, it is. But you know, you and I know that, but we'll let them do it the hard way. All right, that was fun. So yeah, don't beat yourselves up for overthinking. That's what we do. The trick is learning how to capture the idea and record it. So cool. Well, you're doing fine. You're not being stupid. You're just being an engineer. That's the best part about it.
Also, there's an idea I want to make, but I don't know how to do it.
Okay.
It'd be like a glass box with and use osmosis where you have two set, and then it's divided like close to the edge, and then there's the glass going across in two semi-permeable membranes. And on the left would be like super concentrated like salt water. Then on the right would be the base really big side would just be water with like nothing in it.
Mhm.
So it would go in through the bottom semi-permeable membrane, push and go want to go into the side that's super concentrated and then come out the top and let the water fall.
Oh, I know what you're doing. Okay, I know what you're doing. Whew, that is a little beyond my pay grade, but what that means is you've got this idea, sketch out in diagram from what you want. When you get into because you're a senior, right?
Yeah.
When you get into a college lab, they will have the resources you need to do that. Meaning, how do you fuse the glass panels together so they don't leak? That's your first challenge. And aquarium glue doesn't work for what you're doing because you have to have a different glue for both salt and fresh water, so you need a different method, right? And so you got to find the right epoxy for the glue. Then you got to figure out the membrane to keep them separated before you start the process to work, right? And so that'll be resources that a college has that I don't have for you. One, it's really expensive to do. But when you get it working, it's pretty amazing. And then the next challenge will be to take the idea and, well, it looks cool that you got an underwater waterfall, right?
Yeah. There was going to definitely be air in it because can't make underwater waterfall.
You got to have some kind of circulation. So then what does that lead to for science? What can that do? And if you're using salt water, what if you change the liquids? What does that do? And is there a way we can make that into a marketable thing? So yeah, there's a lot going on, but capturing an idea is the important step now. And then looking for each individual part in research. So, okay, first, what's the adhesive I need? Second, what are the types of membranes that will work, that will let a denser saline water flow through and be replaced by the fresh water? Because there's got to be some kind of a cycle going there. So that means if it's too big, it's going to go backwards.
And it's got to counteract gravity.
Yes.
Which I was thinking, trying to take advantage of capillary action by making a bunch of small, so it panels as well, so there's more surface area.
Correct. Yeah. So now you're at that research stage. You've got your idea. Now it's researching these components.
Yeah, I thought of it last year in chemistry.
Yeah. And so just keep going with it because it's doable. It's just the resources aren't here, but they will be soon at any of the schools you're choosing. Do the same thing to the eyes, everybody. Go ahead and round the eyes off. Boom. Boom. They look kind of funky. There we go. Boom, boom. Boom, boom. Boom, boom. Boom, boom. Okay, we're going to put the nose on this next because I really want to get this thing done. I really do. I really, really do. Okay, we're going to put a carrot nose on it. We're just going to do a simple cone nose because we all know that no two carrots are alike. Hope you know that. I mean, granted, the ones that come in a little bag, that they've all been shaven down to the same size, so they can make carrot cake out of the scraps. But they were not. You don't grow baby carrots; they're all exactly that big. That's not how they work. Okay. All right. What would your great knowledge of information say would be the easiest way to put a nose on this bugger?
Would it be to just start at the center of the circle and have it come out?
That's a good idea. So would that work?
Yeah, I was thinking of making it more complicated, like getting off the plane, pulling it into the head, and then trimming it down, and then pulling it back. You could just draw it out and then make the cone off of that.
Yeah. So what we just saw was what needs to happen on every engineering team. One, let's get it done quick, and one, that let's do the real detail. Because between the two of them is where the solution lies. So there's parts of the solution in both. And if you don't have a team that has both mindsets going, we end up doing all the complicated stuff and we lose money. So in a business, we've got to have the quick stuff because that's where we make the money. But in the middle, we've got, oh, this is safe for people to use. Okay, can you imagine if we did his method for a catheter and your method for a catheter? Neither one of those I want to use. But the one in the middle, I want to use that one. Okay, because catheters those catheters are what they use in your veins to open them up. It's also if you're like in a really major accident, the catheter, all catheters is the valve that's on a plastic tube. And so if you're getting like a saline drip with an IV, that's a type of catheter. And then the ones that we all cringe at is the ones that they go into your bladder to drain you out when you're in the hospital because you can't, those are the nasty ones. No one wants those to be bad. And we make a lot of those in Utah. Utah is where probably 90% of all of the catheters in the world are made. It's here in Utah. It's kind of a, yeah, Utah. All right, we're gonna go with option one. Let's bring the front plane back on where we can see it. Again, in the far corner, we're on the front plane now. Woohoo. Turn your snowman to face you. Woohoo. Now, for this to work, we're gonna have to do a little bit of an exaggeration. Okay.
Could we just get a cylinder, pull it out, and then put the cone on top of the cylinder that's been pulled out?
Too many steps.
Too many? Okay.
But right concept. Right concept. So yes, you can do that. We're going to start with just something really simple, like doing a sketch on the front plane. So have you guys ever done the how to make a peanut butter sandwich exercise? I used to do it and I found that everybody else is doing it, so I stopped doing it. There is a ton of different ways to explain how to make a peanut butter sandwich. The problem is the way it's explained results in different outcomes. And what we want to do is take it one step at a time. I need to start a sketch. The carrot is going to start with a circle. That's its basic geometry. So one of the things that's going to happen when you move on back onto our birdhouses is while you've got the concept down, the form and its connectability is what needs to be refined. Okay, because we've got to get it to interlace together. And we want to do that efficiently. Now we can do it inefficiently, which is hot glue the crap out of it. But hot glue is kind of toxic to birds and probably not gonna hang these up anyway, but we don't want a bird to die, okay? So I'm gonna do a circle. I'm gonna do a center radius circle because I know where I've got my axis and I can pick the center of the circle on the axis where I feel a nose would go, and then go ahead and make the size larger than you think it needs to be, but don't come into the eyeball. That would be bad. That's elephantitis gone wrong. You know what elephantitis is? It's a very old disease. It's actually been changed now to lymphedema is the new name. Elephantitis comes from the tsetse fly. And what it does is the fly bites you and your lymphatic system, which is your smallest glands in your body, they get blocked. And so your body can't flush out waste fluids and you swell up and you get feet or arms or legs that are the size of an elephant's leg. That's what it's called, elephantitis. We've now learned a little more about it. We now also know that you can get that from being a cancer survivor. Part of what happens, and this is one of those things that when we engineer is how to fix that. because some of them you take in the bioengineering class upstairs as you go through. If I'm trying to control the fluids in my body, there's only one thing you can do is to put them under pressure and squeeze that out. Well, what's the best way of doing that? We've got bands and cuffs, and they're great temporary. Compression socks that people wear as they get older is for part of that. None of those are comfortable, nor are they practical. So that is an area of research that needs to be addressed. Yes?
My circle.
Your circle went what?
My circle.
Change it to the center radius. Does that help?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So big elephant nose on there right now. Okay. Now you can then rotate your view. Whoops, I gotta finish what I'm doing there. Rotate your view so you can see that the circle is inside his head. Okay. Now, here's where we now mix these two ideas. Let's go ahead and do features and do an extrude. You can just grab the arrow and pull it out. Well, there's a nose. It's more of a Pinocchio nose, which is great. Just pull it out a distance that you feel comfortable with. And that will be different for all of you. Okay. Now, over on your left, we got a question. Yes, sir.
My circle's outside.
Your circle's outside. Where,
Probably drew it on.
Yeah, you probably
we drew it on the wrong plane. You're fine. I just make you nervous. It's fun. All right. Okay, so let's go to this sketch. Start a sketch. Change your view. So you're in the front plane, so now you're at. Select your circle tool. Now you're not quite centered on here, so we're gonna kind of eyeball a little bit off center. You just go circle. Oh, I know, that's why God people will help you. Straight out, yep. Okay, you just put a new nose over top of that.
Like that.
It's you add the nose. Okay, now, for you gotta choose. So get this thing moving in a direction so that's it's going. Then grab the arrow and pull. That's it. Yeah. Yeah. Now you're gonna sketch, yeah. Just make it, yeah. So what we're gonna do is tell it where to draw. Don't draw on the nose. So we're gonna exit this one. No reason to know your gears because you have to turn this one back on. And your front plan on so you know what you're thinking. Start your sketch. Get your front plane. Then go into your circle tool. Then what you've got right here is cut this right there. Okay. Then features. Your cross space. And then grab that one arrow. Okay. So we've got your nose pulled out. Woohoo, that's so exciting to pull your nose. Now, some of your dad used to steal your nose, didn't he? That was exciting. Okay, now on the left side of your screen, underneath where the distance is, and mine's at 4.59, I will probably change that distance 3 or 4 times. That's why we just pulled it out. Below that, there's this weird trapezoidal thing. This is called a draft. To activate it, click on it, and you can then use the arrow tools to taper the nose by tapering it in. Now, you can also do something crazy and taper it out, but that's not a carrot. That's a beam in your face. But you can make a carrot nose by doing that. Now, you can also thicken it by shortening the distance and changing the distance in. And using the arrows, you can visually adjust the nose by changing the angle of the draft and the depth that it is until you're really happy with what you got. You know, just make life good. There's not a right or wrong. You're just putting a nose on this guy. You're playing with the settings. You're getting comfortable with the machine. Okay, so then we can just go ahead and check that off, and you have a nose. Woohoo! Woohoo! Did Jeff go do a one now?
I have no idea.
He didn't take it with him. All right, what's up, buddy? Okay. So we go here. So let's change the viewpoints. Looks like you're going two directions. Let go here for just a second. You've got another. Somebody got another sketch started. That's yep. Woohoo! Yay! Hopefully there's a save. Yeah, we should be able to do that. But that's what it looks like. A sketch is trying to go at the same time trying to do that. Happens. New computers, fixed corners, so we should have as many fractions. Yes. Oh no! Well, guess what you can do? Since you're flooding out here, just grab the back and slide it in. So when you do this part?
Yes.
So we gotta. Oh, because there's a draft for each one. So turn this one off, do this one. Is there a different character? Make sense? It doesn't get, we're not really looking what they're looking at. We're just learning to taper it home. Now, we've done it with a circle. If you want to make a diamond, you do this with an extruded hexagon. Taper it, and you make a diamond. And you can shine bright, like a star. Okay, so we have a few of those things, okay? Now, that's kind of cool. We can taper that. What we want to do next is make an arm. Oh, heaven help us all. Huh.
Are we gonna make it straight out or?
Yeah, we're just do a stick.
Okay,
No hands, no fingers, just a stick.
and like I said, like putting it like this would be, I'm not sure how you do that, but,
Mommy,
no, not straight out, like,
Oh.
I don't know.
crucifix. No, we don't do that. That's sacrilegious. We don't want to get struck by lightning on a rainy day. Okay, now, we want to put the arm in here. I'm going to try and give you an idea of what my intent is here. So I'm looking at the snowman straight on. I'm going to use the sketch aspect here to kind of show you. All I want to do is create an arm, a little wavy arm, and maybe this one's a little. Okay, that's all I'm after. Nothing overly complex. I just went, found a stick, and shoved it in. Remember when you're 4? You're so happy with that. Okay, we used to put broomsticks through. Okay, we could do a broomstick, but again, I want to get this thing done. Kind of bored of the snowman. It's spring now. It's 60 degrees yesterday. I don't want snow anymore. Okay, so here we go. We're gonna work. We got a question back there? We good? Okay, you're going to use a sketch on the front plane because we want it to come out of the middle of the body. Kind of important that comes out of the middle of the body. Some of you will make little T-Rexes. That's fine. Little short arms. You know, anybody seen Meet the Robinsons? The dinosaur cracks me up in that. Somebody feels. Big head, little arms. I don't think you thought this through all the way. That's an engineering problem, right? Ooh, we could watch that in here and legally get away with it because it's all about engineering.
Let's do it. Wait, watch what?
Meet the Robinsons. I will plan a movie day
Let's do it.
because that is an engineering movie. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to do a sketch on the front plane again. Turn your snowman facing you because you're going to plan where the arm goes. You need to make sure you start on the axis line, okay? There's a reason for that, and I need you to start on the axis line, okay? Because what I'm going to teach you is how to do what's called a sweep. So a sweep is a very, very powerful tool, especially if you're doing things that have organic nature to them, like electrical conduit, electrical wiring, tubing, handles on a cup. Very important thing to learn, okay? So what I'm going to do is, and I'm not going to make this archy. I know I drew it squiggly. I'm not going to do a squibbly thing. I'm just going to do a really basic thing. I'm just going to do a sketch, activate the sketch, front plane, and then do the whole thing with lines. I'm not going to do any fancy curves. One, you're not quite confident enough yet for that. I'm just going to do lines. Simple, simple thing. Start somewhere on the center axis. Draw an arm of a certain length. Maybe give him an arm up. Maybe a little to it. Just draw a three line segments. Just 3 line segments. That's all I want you to draw. Keeping it nice and simple. Simple, simple, simple. Okay. Everybody got problems with that one? Okay, here comes the challenge part. Ready? Exit that sketch. Okay, well, that's kind of fun. Now, we're going to need the right plane again. Okay, so we're going to come over to the side with a right click and hit show the plane. Now, if you can't see the plane, and I think there's a few of you who your planes are missing, this eyeball on your display, if this first one is gone, you won't see your plane. So turn that back on so you know where you're drawing. It's kind of like if your mom put you on a bus, blindfolded you, sent the bus off, and then 4 hours later you woke up, you may not know what state you're in. And that means you really haven't traveled much, because Wyoming is way different than Colorado and Idaho. So you should know, but you know, we're just assume. Okay. All right. You ever got your planes working? We're going to rotate either direction. It doesn't matter which way you go, but rotate to the right view and just spin that around. Now, the front plane's kind of in the road a little bit, and you can't really see where your arm is. So I'm going to roll it back just so I can see where this point is here. So this is where the arm started. Okay. So we're going to draw on an angle. Ooh, scary. We're just going to do a circle on that right plane. Not up in space. That's silly. Center point radius. We could do a rectangle. No, circle. Now come up, and then when you find where that arm connects the center, there's going to be an orange dot there. That's going to be the center of your circle. Don't make it super big, okay? You know, I don't know what size your snowmen are, but keep it relatively small for your radius. So if you do 0.2, that's really almost an inch, half inch, something like that. Just do a circle, okay? Just a little one, okay? And exit that sketch. Exiting the sketch is so much fun. Now we got 2 things going. Hard to see, they're gray. So I got a circle and an arm. Woohoo. Now, there is a couple of things that might happen on this. One, the worst things to happen is nothing's going to happen, and there's a fix for that. 2, it's going to work perfectly the first time, then go, that was so cool. 3, you're going to go, that was stupid. Okay, so those are the 3 things that could happen. Okay, has everybody got a circle? Big time problem. Here comes big time problem. Trying to catch up. Did you get the mustard? That was good, huh? You can use that. Yeah.
That was a really good one.
Yeah. Do you know why the boys go to Sun Valley? Because all the girls go to catch them. Which is the city just outside Sun Valley. Hey, it's great. Okay. So you sit down and start planning it. Yep. You just draw a line. And then exit that sketch. And then do the right plane, a circle where the arm starts. Yep, just simple. Simple, simple. So,
I did like, I don't know if we can.
well, it's a circle, it's a round thing. Oh, you did 2 arms. That's not gonna work. You need 1 arm. sorry. I mean, way to go ahead of the, you know, remember the overthinking. Okay. Exit this sketch. Now we're then doing right plane. Bring that one up so you can see that one. You see what that connection is? So we do a new sketch on the right plane with a circle of that same circle right there. Not that big, just really little. Then exit that sketch. Get this right there in that. Make it small. Yep, check it out. Now, if your circle's too big, it won't work. Because, man, I wish I had a pipe. What is that pipe? Oh, I guess you can sacrifice a pipe. Pipe. It's magically appears, right? I got pipe. Okay, so here's what's happening. You're going to send a tube, which is the circle, following the lines that you made. If it's a small bend, it's going to be fine. If your circle is bigger than the radius of the bend, it's going to crimp, which will fail. That's not good. You don't want to crimp it. You want to be, well, I know it's 3 cents. By the way, you guys know what these tubes are for? What are they for? So at Christmas time, y'all got these candy cans full of Hershey Kisses? Yeah, that's what they did. No. That's what these are. You cut them in the foot, it's filled candy. So we don't want to eat crimped because it'll fail on you. Okay? So that's why you want a small circle to start with. Then you adjust it. Mark, don't touch your dad. That's my snowman too. Okay, fortunately we don't reuse the whole tube. Nothing but the tube. So here we go. We've exited out of both sketches. Very, very important you've exited both sketches. Now we're going to go into the Features tab. And we're going to go right to Swept Boss Base. The grammar sucks. It's what it is. Okay, so Swept Boss Base. We click on that and we get a whole new thing we haven't seen before. We get both boy and girl choices. We get pink and blue. Okay, that's the Swept Boss Base. Yep. And features. Now the blue is for the profile of what's going to be swept away. So if you took your broom and you swept it across mud, it leaves a streak, right? That's what we're kind of creating. So the blue is the profile, the pink is the path. Okay, now here's how that works. Boys, the path that you fell through the rest of your life will be dependent upon the girl you choose to be with. The modern expression that goes with that, behind every great male leader is a great female. Okay. So it still holds true. And I know we've got this huge debate going on in the world, but I don't care. Because there's only X's and Y's. So we're going to start by picking the circle. Now, it might automatically pick that circle for you because that was the last thing you did. That's cool. That's less you have to worry about. Again, overthinkers struggle with that. It's like, I want to make the choice. Okay, then next we want to pick the path, which is the line. Oh, your word. Now, for some of you, it's going to work just fine. For others, it's saying, this isn't working. Right? So if it's not working, the problem is the size of your circle or the drastic measure of your bend. So if I had turned this another 5 degrees, it wouldn't have worked. Okay. All right. Now, for those that say, help me, you have to say it just like that. You have to like, that's come from the deep inside the gut. Help me. Help me. It's like a moose dying. Anybody need help? Did it work for everybody? Okay, so pick the circle first. Okay, now, oops, so here's what's happening. Okay, so I'm gonna cancel here. We got this bar selected. Circle right there. And yours is, there's a setting that says check it off, so just check that off. Now it wants to know what happens. And this one said we want to go continuous here, so this whole thing. Now it's not because this thing is too sharp. Okay, now we can go through these options here and see one of those will work. Since none of those do, cancel. Oh, there's your other sketch. You got both ones, sketch. Okay, your circle has to be in a different sketch than your line. They can't be the same sketch. Because then they're in the then your circle's here, your line's here, and that's doesn't work. Okay. So cool beans. So we're gonna edit the sketch here. Say bye circle. And then go back and exit that one. And this is why you want to make sure you watch where your planes are. Your circle needs to be on this plane here. It's still at the same point. That part was good. So just put a logo in there so you get work. Experience here. Features, sweep. Out the circle. We just need to pick a line. There it is. So you can make a bigger circle and still work. Okay? That makes sense? Good deal. All right. Here we go.
Circle.
I've never watched it. It's sometimes.
So, yeah, so I forgot to draw a circle. I don't know.
Well, if you don't have a circle, I didn't pick one to start with. That's kind of so there's no circle, is what you're saying?
No.
Okay, so we have the bell. Bell. The sketch. Pick a sketch. Right there. Your city. Circle. A little guy right there. Exit. Features. Sweep. Look, it kept track of it. So all I'm gonna do is pick this little piece of line here. Oh, I did it. Voila. You got it? So basics. Oh, cool. Let's pick these here. Crazy. When you get it to work right, you're happy. You can check it off. If you want the on your little buffer, increase the size of the circle. Again, it will fail once you get to a certain size. So you can change the radius. Get there? You got yours? You get this? Yeah, but you have the struggles. Let's see what we're at. You get the arm in yet? No. Okay, fail. What you just circle. So here's the arm. Okay? So square up so it looks straight on. Oh, you're straight your back. This is your back. It's okay, no worries. Line. We're going to start that line. Here off the center point. So what's that? Draw your arm. 3 lines. Okay, cool. And right click. And then we exit this sketch. Now the next thing we need is the other plane. That's the right plane. So we make that so you see it. Sketch. It's the right one. We're going with the wrong one. The circle right here at the end of the arm. And we get 3 sharp corners there, so we get that. Then you get that sketch. So there's perpendicular. Okay, go into the features. So features, and then go to select on space. It automatically selected a circle, now pick the arm. Oh, it did it! It did it! By George, let's check it out. All right, now that you know the process, 2 sketches for each arm. Make the other arm.
You need that circle with it?
You'll have a separate circle, yes. Yep, you'll have a different circle. So you actually, technically, you can use the same circle, but you might have a more successful day by doing it. But yeah, you could use the same circle again. if you've lined them all up exactly the same spot, which you would with anatomically correct things, but. Okay, so we're back to our front view because, you know, or in some of your cases, the back or right view, depending on what you've done there. And we're going to do the I'm the little teapot thing. Whoops, silly teacher, you did it wrong. Sketch, line. Now that one's gonna probably give me some grief. That's okay, I need some grief today. Then do a new sketch on the right plane. Another little circle. Exit, features swept. Automatically select the sketch, get the line, and we're good to go. And there is our snowman. Okay. If we get a second arm. Okay. Do you want to do a little more fun with this guy before we call him sitting to bed? Okay. Anybody having struggles with arm number 2? So because there's a swept, there's also a swept cut. If you're making a tube, you would create another circle inside the first circle and follow the same path to do that. Okay. All right, should we put some color on this bugger? Hello, Moto. No color? You want color? No color? You want to move on? Okay. All right, we'll come with yes, sir. A little bit. Okay. You've drawn the arms on the front plane. You've drawn a circle on the right plane. And what's it doing? It's not like you select the circle. Well, you have to say perfectly, please. All right, let's do this one. Look out the side. Looks like it. Yeah. So it was just kind of stuck because you had selected while you're switching out of it. And it says, well, if you want, we work enough. So we just have to get out of it. Then do your select again. Now we should go to them. Then once they have. Now, your path is set up a little weird. So we're going to come back here. So somebody did a piece fix. So do that one. You do this one. You'll put on continuous lines. Now it's still not going. Here. Okay, so if it's not going to go, we have to now do a little chat. When you drew your arm, did it start here or oh, you're trying to get the arm to go along the bone. That's weird. Okay, we'll kill that. You know what's the problem now? So analyze and then. So you basically separated the circle. So there's a way to fix this super quick. You want to do this super quick? Oh wait, they're the same sketch. You can't fix this super quick. Okay, if there were different sketches, I could have. This one's just like the sayonara. Yeah, but you have to make sure it turns on. So if it doesn't get gray mode, it's still processing. You have to reprocess. Okay, so no worries. It's all good. Yeah, make me do circles and fine. Now there's hands up. You good to go? You did it! Oh my goodness, it looks like a freaky snowman. Can't draw the circle. When your turn to draw that. Okay. I'm gonna X that just a minute. So you got this guy. There's a circle right there. Is that the one you're using? Okay. You can use that one. So you got 2 arms. Okay. So let's close these up. Use those. Okay. Because I think that's what happened. Then we do a sketch. That could be wrong. I'm just making up things. I'm just a teacher. Right plane. Now we're there. Now we come in. Circle. About there. Go ahead and try now. What's happening on yours, sir?
I don't know, whenever,
Your radius is too big for that bend.
well, the thing is, whenever I select anything, it says.
Okay, get the green check mark.
The,
You've activated the filter modes. So just hit the green check mark on it.
I can't control the money.
Did you try and match the same, are you using the same circle?
No, it's really just.
Okay, 1 second. Yeah, just, so you can hit the check mark on that. Let's lock it in. Then go into the sketch, the circle. Oops. So I'll be right there, man. So you go back here where the circle is, edit that sketch. And just make it bigger. And then you exit sketch. And you keep doing that stuff. Okay, lots of strange questions. Okay, let's see here. Look at your view. See problem?
Oh, oops.
On the sketches. Oh no, not you. You didn't make the same mistake everybody else did. Oh man, that means you're human. Suck. I thought we had one alien in here, dang it. Yeah.
Can I just send you a 3 of these to see if they'll actually work? Sometimes they
Uh-huh.
don't. Okay.
You want me to just turn them off and see?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they generally don't work.
Okay. I haven't given you my file to look at.
Oh,
Did I send you a copy of mine when I did?
no.
You remember that? Oh, that guy had a little bit of a growth spurt.
Only one of his arms.
Yeah, okay. So he's the elastic snowman.
Yeah, sure.
Mr.
He's
Snowman.
small man, if that's what you want to believe.
I believe lots of things. You'd be surprised what's in this head. All right. Okay. All right. Go to your circle. Okay, then click on the box for the circle. Good. Okay. Now, we're going to take a little engineering analysis here to figure out your design paralysis. Okay, let's take a tilt. And is that circle perpendicular to your arm? No. So there's a circle. So as we kick this out here, 1 sketch. So this one we did 2. So what's missing? So you're doing them both in the same sketch. Make sense? Yeah, so this guy has to go. And then we can exit the sketch, make sure everything goes gray. Start your new sketch. Make sure you're on the right plane. Now put your circle. Okay? Okay, yay, let's move to, we're good. We got a snowman. Everybody not get a snowman, don't any failures. Yeah, that cooking class never cooks. I know, it's so boring. All right. Yeah, so we're going to turn, look. So the circle has been going in the direction of 1. See where it's at. Yeah. You're not alone, man. It's come on. You sketch.
There's one.
teacher just made a bad mistake. You did it. All right, here we go. Let's go and open up Birdhouse, crank people on your things. Are you getting close on things you need 3D printed? I'm just trying to get timing worked out.
Yeah, do you want me to send those to you?
Not yet.
Okay.
Mainly because I've got the do nothing machine here first.
Okay.
Make sure I get your do nothing machine SolidWorks parts so you get you on the set. It's basically I'm doing like you do 5 a day.
Wow.
There's 33 of you.
So should we turn in the Snowman?
No, no. One is there's some you have Snowman that are 8 feet tall, some have them that are a half-inch tall. And canvas doesn't filter that well. Okay? Now. Whoo, doggy. Long days, short nights, make a man healthy, wealthy, and wise. All righty, let's do, leave SolidWorks open, but you need to open up Autocad, which is where your Birdhouse is. Now, we're going to be stressing the RAM. So if you are got something else running in the background, you might want to not be running the background. Go move to your phone or be a Mark and bring a computer in just for video. You do that in other classes, Mark? Do you watch movies in all your classes?
No, there's this one.
Huh. So I am a sucker, is what you're saying.
I know, sucker.
Yeah.
All my other teachers.
Oh, okay. Well, all right. Yeah. So yeah, you're probably right because I just don't have the energy to fight it. I mean, wouldn't have CSI going on back here. We wouldn't have Married with Children going on the other side of the room. You know, whatever's going on there. All right, AutoCAD. That's a big red A. It's been a while. Don't forget. I forgot where it is. There it is. I have a hard time with people that take 16 breaks in a day. Now, it might take a while for AutoCAD to open up. It's been a while since we've been in there. So just be patient with it. We're going to go right to your Birdhouse plan. And I want you to now be really open to yourself that if the Birdhouse changes, it's okay. It's okay to change. All right. Mainly because as you get moving into the 3D environment, you're going to find that things that you thought would work may not work as well, or things that you thought wouldn't work better. So don't be stuck, okay? The worst thing you can do as a human being is be stuck in a rut. And you know what that means? Dead? No. We're not dead in the rut. You know what a rut is?
So a whole little thing that the wagon.
Yeah, it's so if you were to drive over a dirt road, which none of you've even seen in your lifetime, you travel the same way, your tires make a groove in the road. Those are ruts. The ruts that when the pioneers came out here in South Utah, they're still there. You can still find them up in Wyoming and stuff. Those ruts are deep, some of them as much as 3 feet deep. That means they pulled those stupid wagons through 3 feet of mud. That's a crazy want to be here kind of attitude, okay? Stuck in a rut means you're not willing to try a different path. If one wagon had just turned left and went a different way, there'd probably be less mud. But no, we have to all follow in the line like little sheep. Crazy. And that's sheep make ruts too. Or where's my hunters? Are any of you hunters? Yay. Animal trails are ruts. They're very shallow ruts, but they're ruts because animals are things of habit. They know where to go. All right, so we got your file open. Okay, this won't take us a whole long time. We just need to change its file type. We're just going to open it to save it. We could have done this 3 weeks ago, but that would have been no fun. Okay, so we've got all our parts. I've got extra things. I've got plans for holes and stuff. Everything's here. It's all full size, and we're ready to go. You then go up to the file, or you can just do file and come down to save as. Okay, so you've got AutoCAD open, Birdhouse file open, file, save as. Now, when you do the save as options, the drawing is what it is. I don't need that. I've already got that. But you can come down, you've got drawing templates, drawing standards, other formats. I notice I emphasized that one a little bit. There's a subtle clue. Then you got down to DWG converts. That means we're going to baptize them. That whole side of the room is dead. They're just, except Andrew catches one once in a while.
What?
Wait till I get rid of the mask. Then they get the real voice out. I just can't get enough air in here to get a volume. Go ahead and click on other formats in the file save as. It's going to bring up a pop-up window. Looks like this. And for all intents and purposes, nothing's really changed. Okay. The change happened, and this is so much more important than just AutoCAD. This is how all window file save routines work. So if you need to make a Word document into a PDF, it works this way. If you need to make a JPEG and a PNG, it does this same thing. If you need to change an MP4 into an MP3, you can't do it this way. Okay, what's an MP4? Video file. Now, there are routines online where you can do that because you can take out the video off of the YouTube and make it into an audio. And we've all done that, which is why Google no longer sells music. Thank you very much. Okay, down here it says file type. That's what you're looking for. The type is important. The name is just a name. It's like a rose. It doesn't matter what you call it. It's still going to be a file. Now, down here, if you hit the down arrow, there is a list of different formats. So the thing about Autodesk products is they have been around forever, and they will back save to the beginning. So every AutoCAD file will open every other AutoCAD file, which is kind of nice. But what you're looking for is, we're going to go down to the AutoCAD 2000, LT 2000 DXF. What would you suppose the letters DXF stand for? There's a lot of mumblings, but I don't think it's about this. Digital cross-reference file. Okay. Now that means that a DXF CAD file can be read by every CAD program. That's universal. That's super important for you to know because you might be working at an engineering firm that needs to get files from someone that's using Inventor, someone that's using Solid Edge, someone's using AutoCAD, someone else is using a different version of SolidWorks. You need to be able to bring these into your product. Or maybe the company you work for has just changed programs to whatever's cheapest that year. That sucks when companies do that. So AutoCAD 2000 DXF is what you're selecting. The file name will stay the same, but it will now have a .dxf extension on it. It will be saved in the same place it was. Just hit save. Ooh, bye-bye, AutoCAD. Put AutoCAD to bed. We're done with it. See ya. Save your work, all that good stuff. Bye, AutoCAD. So fun. All righty. Everybody got it saved? All right, next step. Now, you're going to use this file multiple times, okay? Because we cannot build a birdhouse with all the parts on the same plane. Okay, so we spent a lot of time on the Snowman with planes, making sure you're on the right plane. If you're on the wrong plane, you might end up in Shanghai instead of Paris, which can happen in Salt Lake now. There's daily flights to both. Be pretty hard to get in the wrong plane, but it happens. Okay, let's go ahead and start a new file, just a new part file. And you either want to do this process for all 6 sides of your birdhouse. 7 if you have a pitched roof, 8 if you went crazy, 9 if you went berserk, 42 if you really were an overachiever. Not 42, is it?
Maybe 8 times 4. So 32 maybe?
32 parts? Okay. Yeah, 32 times you'll be doing this.
But some of them are exactly the same.
Then we'd be okay there. Okay, so we got a new file, right? We don't want to draw the birdhouse all over again. That's kind of defeats the purpose of the activity. Thanks, Wyatt. Got it. Up at the top, you're going to see File, Edit, View, Insert. What? Insert what? Well, click on Insert. Let's find out what we can do here. All right. As we look down through the options, we can just insert a boss base. Well, these are my features. That's kind of crazy. We're inserting features. That's what you've been doing is insertions. You just didn't know it. Then we go down surfaces, faces. Everybody needs a new face. Curve. Faces are really hard. Curves, they're not hard. They're just picky. Sheet metal. Ooh, we got to do some sheet metal stuff. Mother's Day is coming up. Maybe we need to make a box. That'd be a good idea. Structurals, welds, molds, meshes, insert a part. Oh, that'd be so cool, but we don't have a part yet. So that's if you're putting together an assembly and you're working on the pistons and you're working on the crankshaft and you're working on the housing and you're working on the fuel injector rods. You bring them all in together and make one part. Okay. Sketches, 3D sketches. Hey, there she is, a DXF. Oh, we could have just brought the drawing in. We didn't have to do it, but you need to know. Click on that. Now, when you click on Insert DXF/DWG, it says, well, where do you want to put this? Where do you think you drew this at? Front? You actually drew it on the top plane. AutoCAD's default is looking down. Whoa, that's mind-blowing. So we don't have to do anything. We can just sit OK there and pick a plane. So I'll go front plane. Now, when we do that, there's nothing there because I hadn't started a sketch. There's no sketch started to put it in. Well, good crap, Pasket. Tell us what to do. Why do we have to do everything ourselves? Okay. And just seeing who's listening, you know, it's like 3 out of 10. Okay, 2 out of 10. Okay, so go ahead and start a sketch. Choose the plane you want to put things on. So that's one of the things that I like about SolidWorks. If you don't know what you're doing and you just try, it'll say, hey, you forgot to pick where to put this. Okay, so I'll go ahead and pick the front plane because that's the assumption you have. Is there anything wrong with assumptions? No. Only if you voice them. You can have an assumption because that leads you down a course of inquiry. But when you voice an assumption, that's when you get, you know, kicked out of office. Like, I just grabbed her face and I didn't mean to hurt her. Well, did she ask you to grab her face? Political stuff. All right. Yes, my new insert. Yeah, you're bringing in your birdhouse. Yes, the 2000. Yes, put right there. Get next. Yep, you're getting ahead of me now. You're ahead of me. Yeah. And it's a process. It's just, oh, look at that. So cool. Okay, I'm gonna go because now you guys are ahead of me. All right. So again, we can bring the AutoCAD file in directly, but you need to other formats via DXF, so I have to talk about it. Okay, so I've got a sketch started. We do insert back down to the what have I done? Insert DXF. What'd I do? Yeah, question?
I have the same problem as you. When you start this sketch, you can't access the DXF.
Okay, here's how you do it. Okay, sorry, it's a little change. There's just be a, so you don't have to start a sketch. How's that for me being so funny, hunky? Okay, but you do have to know where you're gonna put it. Okay, so if you guys will watch, I'll show you, then I'll undo the whole thing, and then we'll do it together. Okay, so remember this time we put it on the front plane. So highlight the front plane. Just click it blue. Okay, it doesn't have to be shown, just click on it. Now, don't double click, just click. If I want you to double click, I'll say double click. Then we go to insert, scroll down to the DXF, slide down, whatever you want to call it. Then we gotta go find where I saved this sucker. I gotta just get into the right, get out of the do nothing machine is the problem. Oh, where did I save this at? I don't remember where I saved my file.
You can check your recent files.
Oh, what's that? This one?
Very top.
Really? That's how that thing works? There it is, right there, that one?
Yeah.
Wow, I think I just learned something. Did you all learn something new that didn't know how to do that? Or that all you guys do is quick access everything? That's so millennial of you. So Z. Okay, hit open. Now it's in process. Da, 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 da. Oh, that's scary. Oh yeah, we are bringing the 2D stuff into a 3D environment. That's a little strange, but okay, hit next. Oh, there's a preview of it. Looks good, like it. I'm okay with it. Hit next. Oh, yes, I really do like it. I'm going to verify that again. So hit finish. Processing, processing. Open the report. Oh my gosh, could not be imported. Why not? That's so rude. I don't know why I didn't do that. Did anybody follow along with me by chance? Did it work?
Yeah.
Fine. We're just gonna close it. Oh, look, there it is. What do you mean?
Oh, it said 26 entities could not be imported.
But it brought in 2. All right. That's kind of bogus. Not liking it. Sketch 3 now. Cool. I'm gonna kill that sketch. So here's the other option, and I'm just gonna do the other option. So that's the first one. You can also just do File, Open. I'm gonna go back to that little fancy quick access thing. That might be my problem. Using there's the DXF. Hit Open. Hit Next. Next. Finish. That worked. Okay, so that got it in there. But I'm in a weird world. Weird world. Not liking this world. Is this what yours looks like? So glad to know that.
No, not that weird, whatever that.
This is a view layout. So what this is it's trying to make it into a sheet of drawings. When I look at this, these are all still individual elements, but I no longer have the functions of being in SolidWorks. So you can open direct. I'm gonna kill this one. We're gonna try again. So lots of choices here. I'm gonna do File. I'm just gonna do Open again because I want you to see the struggles that are real. This time, instead of trying to, I'm gonna use that quick access all the time now just because it's cool. Until I open everything up. I'm gonna open up the DWG directly. So this is the DXF. It will say DXF on it. If you got really good eyes, this one says DWG. One's green, one's blue. That helps too. See if I can get this to open more to what I want. And it might be that I'm just having convert to SolidWorks. Something in this conversion is not working on my machine. And so I'm just going to finish on it. Yeah, dang. Yeah, caramba. Yours does not look like, is anybody else getting this result? Okay. So I've just given you 3 options now. Which one do you want me to go over again, even though mine's not working? And I think its zoom is bothering it a little bit. That's probably what's happening because it's, okay, so should we do the insert again? Okay, here we go again. Again, to insert a file, highlight the plane you want it to be on. Then go to insert. This is one you're doing with me. We'll then do it 3 ways until I get it right. Go down to your DXF, DWG. Find where you've got your file stored. This is the case we're doing a DWG. You can change this to DWX or a DXF or DWG, depending on which one you want to go with. The default is DXF. So that's why I only have the green icon, not the blue. I hit open on that. Now, what should happen is, oh, I see. It's my fault. It's not SolidWorks. It's me, because the other day I was working on a project. So on this screen here, it says input part as a 2D sketch, but then I've got a check mark here as a reference. Now, it helps to read. It's fundamental to all things in life. So what was happening is we're bringing it in as an image, not as an entity. Okay, so I'm going to take that off. We'll see if this works better. Yours should be off by default because you don't know how to do those yet, which is good. Then next, looks like a better. Oh, that's what it should look like. Whew, that's so much more satisfying. So much more satisfying. All right, everybody got your birdhouse in SolidWorks? Okay, anybody not? Because this is the time to say, help me. You don't? And then come back then and just bother you then. Sure you don't need help? I've got a psychiatrist. It's kind of weird though. Yeah, they're really weird. It's like you have a simple conversation and say, what you're really trying to say is, and say, no, I told you what I said. All right, so we then go select plane, insert down here to, oh, you got your sketch start. Plane, insert, DOG. Not a thing on it. Statement. And reference off. Next. Okay. Yes. We're going to. That what's that just stuff missing? Oh, we can cut it. That's okay. Yeah, if your birdhouse wasn't done in Autocad, we'll fix it. It's all works. You weren't here for the whole birdhouse either? How many days have you missed? 1 week. No, we worked on the birdhouse for a couple weeks. We think you're doing just a that. So you don't have a birdhouse either? Okay, well, you just did the whole thing solid. You didn't start from scratch. Because that's what we're doing. All right, next, who else is struggling? That's okay. If you're not finished, we'll finish it in SolidWorks. That's okay. We'll create a birdhouse in SolidWorks. Okay. Now, remember the dimensions for the birdhouse are in the canvas course under birdhouse. Build better birdhouse. So if you don't have the sizes, that's where you find them. Because the wood's all back here in a big old box. Yay. Okay. It looks like everybody's got some pretty cool stuff. Excellent. Here we go. Now, that was kind of a little bit of a pain, but not terrible. So let me bring up Canvas real quick and get the sizes here again. For some reason, Canvas shut down. I don't know why. Probably the Comcast issue. Okay, so we've got our parts in here. Now you have to stay within a certain amount of wood. You each, I haven't counted the wood yet, but there should be one sheet of wood for each of you to build your birdhouse out of. That's an 18 by 24. Now, what wood you don't use, we're going to give to those that need a smidgen more, or we'll save for a different project, okay? Because wood's kind of pricey. Now, that means, so we have to be kind of creative with what we're doing here. I think Canvas is opened up now. Nope, it's not. Did Canvas crash? I'm having some issues over here. Sorry, too many things going on. Bring up the birdhouse dimensions again. So again, it can be a simple, this is a really simple birdhouse. I hate it, but it was the demo I did with you guys. I'm gonna change it quite drastically as we go, because that's what makes it fun, is making things better than what they could be, and probably more complicated than they should be. That's okay. All right, to review. What it is in the design process, that means I expect you to make changes, to go back and forth on this. This is one option for how to connect together. These are finger joints. It works really well. You can also use the tab and hole method to lock them in. That's probably what I'm probably do both, to be honest with you on mine. You need a front, a back, a top, a bottom, and a side. And then depending on the complexity that you're doing, you might need side 2, side 3, side 4, side 5, side 6, side 7, side 8, side 9, side 10, side 11, side 12. Okay, some of you are overachievers. Now, to find all the specifics, that's a new word, specifics, is right here, which is your dimensions requirement. So we're looking at about 7 inches by 15 inches is your maximum size. So if everything fits within that, you should be okay with it. So this is for that really simple birdhouse that looks like this. Okay, now we did make one change, is that your wood is not 3/8, it's a 1/4 inch. That's the only change I made on it. Primarily just for the cutting speed. Taking off that 1/8 of an inch means that you can get the whole thing cut with one pass instead of 2. So with a laser and wood, you never want to try and cut through a really thick piece of wood, like a 1/2 inch piece, with one cut. It tends to do bad things, like ignite the surface with fire, which isn't a pretty look. So you often you'll do multiple passes to cut through, kind of like sawing a piece of wood. You're just using light instead of a blade. Just trippy. Okay. Okay, so this is where that information is if you weren't here for those weeks we did the birdhouse. Now, for those that have it in here, you can draw. These are all now SOLIDWORKS entities. They're just lines. You can throw a smart dimension onto them. Whoa, hey, it's 8 inches. Who would have figured that? Okay, and check that off. I got it. My settings are all screwed up today. So you can change those settings. I can measure from the top to the bottom. Put that one, that's 12. Yeah, I maximized my space. I'm so excited I did that. Okay, well, that's great. And like I said, I'm not sold on this, but I do know where things are and where I want them to be to begin with. Now, the reality is I don't want to bring in the process of bringing Autocad in again. It's bulky. It takes time. It can air out. So SOLIDWORKS gives us the ability to do what we're doing within itself. Okay. So here's what we're going to do, and you're going to do it. So just, except if you don't have one drawn. Anybody else not have a birdhouse drawing besides the one? Just one of you? Okay. Come here, buddy. I'm just having bad feelings about life in general. I should figure out a better way of doing this. Well, okay. Happy day to you too.
Yeah, so I have 8 sides that are identical. I only need to draw each of them once, right?
Correct.
So that means I actually only have
But
5 drawings.
you're going to have to create all of them in SolidWorks. Okay. Mr. Missing Birdhouse Man. I don't remember your name. I'm gonna make it up. So then be, come here, man. There's a file here called Birdhouse. Go ahead and insert that into your SolidWorks. It's a DXF file, so you can still do what we did. Okay, you guys, I need to also remind you that when we get into next quarter, we'll be doing more individual things. It will be very difficult for me to bail you out. Okay, for the advanced guys, there's a couple projects in there you might want to do as well, just because you didn't get to do them. They're kind of fun. So we're going to do a couple, well, 3 real quick ones. So, alrighty. Now, as I was saying, I really don't want to do the whole process of inserting a file. It's bulky. So what we have is most CAD packages or programs have the ability to take a drawing or an element that's in the file and save it out of the file into another file. It's kind of like a copy, but it's more likely to be called a clone. And that's what we're going to do with this. We're going to clone this drawing. And so we have it to bring in multiple times on different planes. Because if this is my front view, and I know it's the front because it says on the bottom left corner, kind of helps if you forget where you're at. That means I'm working on this piece right here. Well, all this other stuff doesn't match that plane, right? It's wrong. So we've got to put it on different planes. So we got the cups coming. That's always good. Oh, no, they're not coming in here. You guys are safe. Yay. I hate windows in classrooms. It should never be windows.
I think they're on.
They might be. They stopping you. They're probably looking for Jeff. He was probably on the 5th floor again. I know. It's a really long way to go for water. Okay, so here's what you're going to do. Okay. In SolidWorks, it's called a block. AutoCAD also has a block feature. So whatever you've got on your screen right now, we're going to clone. And you do that by simply dragging a window around it. Just window the whole thing. Just select everything. Now, I've not ever tried this. Let me try it. I don't know if it'll work. Yeah, you can do Control A too. Woohoo! And every day Control A because your windows are all weird, huh? Yes, sir.
I can't let my.
You can't get it to come in? What was that question? Oh, you got 2 sketches already. Here's one sketch happy on me. Let's get back in this sketch. There you go. Do that. Oh, now the hands are flying. You're in the same. Don't start a new sketch. No new sketch. You need to stay in the sketch you brought it in. Oh. Oh. What is this? This is a reference sketch. Happy Georgia Day. If it's not working, that means you brought it in as a reference. Okay, there's all that. Sure glad I went through all that crap about problems. Here. Remember that check mark I said, don't bring me in as a reference? I know, that was just my problem, but it's apparently all your problems. Yeah, thanks. Okay, where am I going? This way. Give me a reference too. Okay, here we go again. Insert. Birdhouse. See that in? YouTube. Yeah, reference file. Okay, looks like all will be sheep today. So what I'm doing is I'm reinserting it by taking the reference file. Okay, so this, you're not in your sketch. Here we go, here we go, here we go. So reference now. So there's fine. Hello. You redrawn everything? Oh, you just trace them all then. Okay, well, no, do this. All we need you to do is window. In the sketch. Okay. Okay, seriously, you don't need to be an Autocad anymore. We got to move forward. Oh, we can't keep going backward. It makes me dizzy. Okay, who else needs help get your files out of reference mode? Yeah, just select it. Yeah. Okay, you're good. Anybody else? Okay, oh, back here. Okay, hey, all you need to do is get in your sketch. Okay. You did yours right. Yes. Okay, so once it's all selected and light and pretty pixie blue, because it's magical, you will have a window right above somewhere on your screen. This window has a lot of elements and commands that are really there to make your design life nicer, especially if you've got 32 parts. Okay. So the first one here is to select other things. So you can window a bunch of things, but maybe there's something off or inside that you need to pick individually. That's what this option's for. The next one is to construct geometry. Maybe you forgot to add a line and you got to add it. I usually don't use that because I'll add it when I need it, rather than try and add it now. So, because I like to get things done. I like to go fast. The faster I go, the happier I am, especially driving. And if you haven't, well, this is the one we're going to be using. This is to make a block. Okay, well, that's what we want to do with this. Now we're going to come back to it. We're going to go through the rest of these so you know what they are. This lets you zoom up on a section, make sure you picked it. Because sometimes you have little tiny millimeter lines and you don't want to forget those because they might be the main thing that's holding the thing together. Then you have your entities you want to replace out. So maybe you make the block, but there's been an update. And so you can swap a piece out and change it because the block's still good for 99% of your other projects except for that one change. Then you can do your numerical inputs. You can sketch those on there so you can label them. This is to exit out of the sketch. Don't do that. And this is to extrude the whole thing you've selected. come back here to the letter A, the make a block. When you select that, not a whole lot happens. Basically what happens is you can now see your coordinate system, and over on the side is a list of every line selected. If you go down through that list, you'll find that there's 2 arcs and that the dimensions are not in that list. They don't say, hey, there's dimensions in there, or text. It doesn't say anything about those. Don't try and add them in. Just trust it, they'll be fine, because they're smart dimensions, which is brilliant. But then there's this word down here, insertion point. This is really a button. It's really a button. So if you click on that, you get a blue coordinate system. Well, that's kind of cool. This one, if you use your left mouse button, you can move it around. Well, I'm going to put it right here on the corner of my front door. That means every time I bring this into a new file, it'll be with that on that. I can control where it goes. That gives me the power. Power of Grayskull. I got to get off TV. Anyway. So this is your insertion point. Anytime you bring it in, that'll be where it's based at. This helps keeps you orientated. Are you orientated today? Because it's been a great fun. I'm gonna get fired for racism because I'm now talking like a Southern man. This was a very boring world now. Anyway, so once you get that all done and you place where the insertion point goes, go ahead and hit the green check mark. And oh, look, it's a block. Now, what does that mean? Okay, that means if you're in this sketch, and I'm in the sketch right now, and I pick this guy, the whole thing's connected. It's all one thing. So a block is literally like we took the whole thing, put in the freezer, filled it with water, and it froze into a nice block. They're grouped together. Yep. They're very grouped together. We can put it wherever we want. Sweet. Now, it's got just a block name. That's fine. Because it's just in this file. That's a way of grouping your parts that keep them from moving away on you. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
My center point, like, I can't move it.
Okay. All right, let me undo everything we've just done. Okay, I'm gonna go fix the center point, then we'll do the block again. Nothing like time travel. They said it was impossible. I go back in time all the time.
Well, with this blue line thingy?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Okay, what's up? Well, that's, okay, well, if you select this, then this moves to that. That's set, that is 0. That's like, this is Earth. The rest of the universe moves around us. That make sense? That's 0, 0, 0. Your question. Now, if you're texting, when I give this whole freaking explanation, it took 16 minutes. Well, we get to this point, we hit the green check mark. Get rid of it. Why do you want to get rid of it? We're trying to copy it. Why did you lock every point? Why was it putting ink on it? Was we just having fun?
Wait, what were you saying? One?
Well, no, there's a way to do it. Okay, hang on. One problem at a time here. Make a block. Uh-huh. Yeah, I'm just trying to pass. What do you want this insertion to be? That's over. Okay, now you got everything redrawn? You don't know why different colors? Well, because this is a reference file, so we can't copy those. and then you add it to the reference file. So in order to do what we're doing, yeah, you then need to, because you're in sketch 2 already. This is sketch 1. So if you're gonna just take that here a minute, and just really quick to get what we need to do out of this. Because the others are just shadows. You good? Why are you there? Number one. Scares me. Don't do a new birdhouse. If you did do new ones, start with SolidWorks. Don't go back on again. Okay? We don't. That's the site. We're going too far back. All right. I'm gonna review what we just did because I undid mine to do you to help you in 10 minutes. It's okay. We're laying the foundation for a much more productive week. Okay, so once again, when we bring our files in, I don't want to insert the AutoCAD file every time. It takes too much time. And I am paying my designers by the hour. And if it takes them 3 minutes to just start the file, I'm paying for nothing. And I don't like that. Okay? So I want to make it faster. I want it to be 30 seconds. I'll pay you for 30 seconds. 3 minutes, nothing happened. So when you get in your sketch, if you bring in the file and it's converted to SolidWorks entities, not a reference file, we took the check mark off, then we can do a Control A and select everything on the screen, or you can window it, or you can pick each line one at a time, depending upon your status of feeling successful. Once they're all selected, we hit the green check mark. That's not right. I missed a step, aren't I? I lost my thought here. Yep, I missed a step. Control all, select them all, then find this box. Get this box come up. If the box doesn't come up, get them all selected. Whatever you have to do to right click, there's the same box. Okay, the right click will bring it up. You want the big giant letter A. That's for making a block. We click on it. Nothing really fancy happens, except you get this button right here that says Insertion Point. You click on that. You move the blue origin point to where you want things to be based off of. So it can be here, it can be there. Just move it where you want it. Okay, you'll learn to think about where you want that to go. When that's done, green check mark. Now we have a block inside of our file. That means these are all grouped together. They move around in synchronicity. It's like the world's best synchronized swimming routine. Got it. I don't want it inside this file. I want it in another location so I can use it. It's going to be used. So when I come to where it says block, and yours should be block 1-1. I'm now block 2-1. Okay. Now right click. Now in this right click, you can edit the block. You can save the block. You can make it into a block within a block. That really can screw up a colleague. If you want to really mess with them, block everything. It's really great. You can explode the block. That takes it back to its original form. That just breaks the ice apart. You can add it to a library. So it's something you then use over and over and over and over again. Put it in a library. Keep track of it. You can delete it. Don't do that. You can look at its properties. You can collapse it. You can rename it. Renaming is always a good thing. Or you can hide it. We're just going to go and save the stupid thing. Again, to the stupid point now. Click save. Now, if you just call it block, you're going to have a whole bunch of blocks by the time this next 2 weeks are over. So put it where you know everything's going. You just got to know where your stuff is. Okay, and then give it a name so you know what it is. Birdhouse. Parts. Whatever you need to name it. Stupid project. My teachers make me do that. I don't want to do, but I have to do it anyway because I need to pass class so I can graduate. I had kids do that before. You do?
I don't.
Then most don't. Most don't. Okay. Now look at what it's the file type. This is a SLD BLK. That means it's a SolidWorks block file. Okay. Hit save. Okay. Now we've got this file here. We've saved a block. We've got 4 minutes to change the world and make it a better place. If you'll watch the screens, I'll show you how we're going to use this. Which did you lose me at? Are we good? I got 2 minutes now. Okay, what's up?
What's the part name?
Whatever you want to name it. You are its creator.
No, the file type.
It's a SolidWorks block file. If you save the block, it's going to be there automatically.
Is it the SLD PRT or the?
That is correct. SLD BLK. Let's do the time warp again. Okay. You guys are good. I'm going to show you what's going to happen with this. I'm going to go very, very quickly. So keep your eyes forward. If that girlfriend is texting you, want to know if you did take her to lunch, she can wait 2 minutes. She won't die. Okay. If I start a new file, brand new part file, nothing in it, and I'm ready to now work on my birdhouse, I'm going to go ahead and start a sketch and then put it on the front plane because that's where I want to work. I then go to insert, come right down to, nope, tools, sorry, tools, blocks, insert, tools, blocks, insert. I browse. I go to where I store my crap at because I want to keep everything organized. I find the block file, select it, open it up. There it is. It's at its insertion point. Stick it right where it goes. Right click, hit OK. Now my block is in a new file. Come over to the side sketch. There's the block. Can't use it as a block. Got to break the ice. So I explode it. Oh, that felt so good. Oh. Then I go to features, extrude boss base. I'm not extruding all of them. I'm only working on the front. So I click the front, give the extrusion depth 0.25, check it off, boom, 1/4 inch. Did I do 1/8 with you? Okay. For what we're doing, to work, yeah. I'll pull the wood out when you guys leave and put it. Okay, this one, then I save this as front of birdhouse. It's done. Moving on to the next one. Boom, boom, boom. Just keep going. Just like that. But each of these has to be the same.
Where is the block
Where'd I save it?
where you, I know you went to insert and you said like tools.
Oh, yeah. It's tools, blocks, insert.
Oh, tools.
Tools,
Oh, tools.
blocks, insert. We'll be doing this on Monday. Okay?
Okay, that makes sense.
And then we're going to start putting it together, see what changes you need to make. So we're going to go through the refine process next. Okay? All righty. We did it. We're on to birdhouse. Later days, man. Enjoy the carrots.
Do I need to save the drawing?
Nope.
No. Okay.
No. You got the block saved. That's all you need.
What time is it okay to arrive tomorrow?
What's that?
What time is it okay to arrive?
About 8. It starts at 8, so you can come about 1:45,
Bud.
7:30.
Have a good day.
Yeah. Have a good one, guys. Okay, I'll get those printed as quick as possible. Hello.
Morning.
Oh, I got you. Yeah, some of your, when there's only like 3 girls in class, they get the names done pretty quick.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Do you think my idea would work? Do you think there would be enough?
Yeah, I think it's a very viable idea because I have a dim memory of seeing an underwater waterfall in real life that was done with that same concept where the density of the water made it look like a waterfall.
Well, it isn't an underwater waterfall. It's just where there's water, there'd be air, and then the water would go into the super concentrated part. And because it's super concentrated, the water wants to flow in there, and it has to counteract gravity enough and then come out the top.
Yeah, yes. So the same thing happens on the bottom of the ocean floor because you got denser, if you have a pocket of, say, fresh water that's trapped down there, you get this same kind of effect that's happening. And I think I've seen that in a video somewhere. But yes, it is possible. It's just getting the right materials to do it. And then figure out what to do with it as an application.
Yeah, I was just thinking of it as like a cool sign.
It would be a very cool, and you could probably sell it at Sharper Image for $200 because people like those kind of things.
Yeah, it was just because like Newton's cradles, this would like teach osmosis.
Right. Absolutely. Yep. I think you're right. Smart on there.
The